Good morning and welcome to the work session for March 1st, 2023. We'll start with juvenile probation.
Good morning.
Morning, Holly.
I'm here to request the approval of the agreement between Crawford County Conservation District, the Woodcock Creek Nature Center, and Crawford County Juvenile Probation. We will provide mowing, trimming, and basic yard cleanup services through our community service program from April 4th of 2023 and contract ending October 15th of 2023. In exchange for our community services, it'll be a one-time payment to our office of $5,000.
Any questions for Holly? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Public safety. Morning, Greg.
Morning, Greg.
Just requesting to approve the payment of $1,800 to LSSE Group as our final payment for work performed on behalf of public safety at the Greaser Road Tower site.
Question for Greg? Thank you.
Thank you.
The register and recorder. Morning, Beth.
Morning, Beth.
Okay, I'm requesting to ratify the software support agreement with Optical Storage Solutions effective March 1st, 2023 through February 28th, 2024 in the amount of $18,824. The payment will be split between the Register and Recorder, Orphans Court, Assessment, and Court Administrator offices. Attorney Keith Button has reviewed the contract, and this is a budgeted item.
Any questions for Beth?
Nope.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff Powers.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave.
I'm here to request approval to replace the exhaust manifold catalytic converter on our Taurus police car for $971.25.
Okay.
And the second item is to request to approve the contract with law enforcement services for the calendar sales. This is the money that we bring in that we use for primarily equipment and clothing allowance and sometimes schools.
This is the second year, Dave, for that?
It's a 2-year
2 years.
contract, so we're renewing it for another 2 years.
Pretty happy with it?
Oh, yeah. We didn't get as much the second year, but she's guaranteeing me the same, the original amount this
Okay.
year. So.
Any questions for Dave? Thank you, Dave.
No, thank you.
The correctional facility.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Number one, I'm requesting to ratify the purchase of a cutlery security cabinet. Cost of the cabinet is $2,393, be purchased by Bob Barker Company. Currently, our kitchen knives are all, they're not stored properly. Kitchen knives and other potentially dangerous items are required to be secured in a highly visible area. This is an all-steel cabinet with a security glass, and it's also been recommended by the DOC. Second item is requesting to approve payment of $2,000 to Meadville City for annual weapons qualifications at the John Holt Range. This is a budgeted item, and one thing I'd like to point out, if the county was to construct a county range, that would save $6,000 a year and could possibly be used to generate funds. Just want to throw that out there.
One question on 5A. You have it listed as a 2022 budget item?
There was I actually put that in at the end of 2022, but it was a big order through Bob Barker and it got split up and I never got to happen until this year.
That was my next question. I know you're going to give me the standard Jack answer, but do you already have the cabinet, Jack?
We do.
Oh, okay.
That's,
Okay. Okay, any other questions for Jack? Okay, thank you. IT. Morning.
Morning, Tim.
Morning, Jim.
IT is here to request the approval of the purchase of replacing the controller of the badge security system from Linstar for $5,981.36. It is a PCOMP grant fund
Okay.
item. And second, on the same line, requesting to approve the upgrade of the security badge software from Linstar for $2,585, again, using PIFA Corp funds.
Any questions for Tim?
That controller is the one that's up on the first floor.
Yes.
Yeah, we knew that needed replaced, so.
Thank you, Tim. County maintenance.
Morning.
Morning, Mark.
Sorry for the earlier outburst.
Whatever you need is in your office
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah, it's, thank you. Apologize for that. Requesting approval to hire RW Construction to build and deliver and install the countertops and sides for the public counter that'll be in the new treasurer's office for $9,350.
Did you take guidance from the treasurer herself to make sure it's what she wants?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Requesting approval to pay Brian Noah, the project manager, $855. I apologize, I should have for last month's bill.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll be there for the meeting, for professional services. Requesting approval to hire Eads Group for professional engineering services for the rehab of Mercer Street Bridge, County Bridge number 18 for $72,000. This will be paid for with Act 89 money. Requesting approval to pay Sherwin-Williams $80.54 for the Human Resources Office remodel.
Okay.
And requesting approval to pay Sherwin-Williams $161.08 for the Commissioner's Office remodel.
We've yet to hear your evaluation of our painting skills.
It's pretty good.
Not too bad?
It's acceptable.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it went
didn't
from
make
pretty
us
good
look
to
too bad.
acceptable.
It didn't make us look bad. That's
Yeah.
what I was hoping.
It's gonna
Thank
go to okay and
Yeah.
then subpar, I think.
But they had to come in.
and-
Any of those dabs on the ceiling tile is probably one of these two guys. I couldn't reach them.
Right.
Thank you. County planning.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Warren Zach.
We're asking for approval of an invoice for Pashik MTR in the amount of $5,307.36. This is for their engineering services for December and January for the Edmeyer Complex in Titusville. It's paid for out of Titusville's 2020 CDBG program. We're also asking for payment of an invoice with HRG Inc. in the amount of $5,566.26. This is a partial payment for their October 2022 engineering services. It is for the ARC Power Grant, and it'll be paid out of that ARC Power Grant. We're also seeking approval of an ordinance, or authorization of an ordinance decreasing the membership of the Crawford County Planning Commission for 9 members to 7 members under the provisions of the PAMPC. That ordinance will go for public notification. Keith has already started working on that process, and I'll let him speak to it. We're also asking for authorization to terminate the contract for CDBG engineering services with Stifler McGraw pursuant to the articles in the contract. My Roman math is not great this morning.
15.
But, yeah, 15. There we go, thank you. So for default, and Keith has reviewed the contract and indicated that we are within our right to do so. We're also asking for ratification for payment for invoice CDWG for Acrobat Pro, Adobe Acrobat Pro. It is a $162.50 payment. This is for a computer that was one of the computers that was replaced for our deputy director. It does not have that program on it, but she needs that program to do her position. We are asking for the full $162.50 because the contracts with IT, it will be a $12.50 payment for the month of March, and then it will be a $150 payment from April to April. So rather than coming back twice, I'm asking for approval to get the entire year approved at one time. And with that, even though that was not a budgeted item, there is money in our budget to move around and cover that cost. We're also asking to send myself and Samantha Travis to the Community Development and Housing Practitioners Conference in State College from April 30th through May 2nd of this year. It is paid for out of CDBG funds, and travel requests were submitted to as part of the packet. Okay. We are also seeking approval of a January invoice from Design Lab Architects in the amount of $1,531.94. This is a partial payment for the Meadville Market House assessment. The project is paid for out of the fiscal year 2019 CDBG contract. There is also another request for a payment on that project for their February 2023 invoice. Design Labs Architects, it'll be $301.24. This is paid for out of the 2021 contract, which is why we broke them up into 2 separate contracts. And then the last one is, again, a partial payment for 2 different invoices being paid to Design Labs. The total amount is $6,166.82. This is paid for out of their fiscal year 2020 contract. So it's taking 3 years of the city of Meadville CDBG funds to pay this contract, which is why we broke it into those 3 items.
Any questions for Zach? Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Zach.
The Care Center? Good morning, Tony.
Morning,
Morning,
Tanya.
Tanya.
Requesting to ratify the point-click care agreement to implement the meal tracker module at $71.50 per month.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify the $8,153 invoice with Vantage Care Apothecary, and this is to purchase our influenza vaccinations for next season.
Okay.
Requesting to approve the nursing facility hospice services agreement with Southern Care, Inc., doing business as Gentiva, a Medicare certified hospice program. And then
Okay.
the second part of that is for inpatient hospice services.
Okay.
Requesting to approve the independent contractor agreement with Amberan Way, and that's to provide beautician services to the residents.
Keith looked at that, right?
Yes. Mhm. Yep. Requesting to approve $901.50 invoice with Pack Industries, and this was to service the washer and repair on washer number 3. And then the same washer, $657.
Okay.
Okay. Requesting to approve $682 invoice with AED Superstore, and this is to purchase a pre-stand mannequin pack with CPR monitoring.
Okay.
And requesting to approve the regulatory work restrictions policy that we developed at the 2/8/23 executive session.
Any questions for Tanya? Thank you.
Nope, thank you.
Human Services?
Good morning.
Morning, Sue.
Morning, Sue.
I'm requesting approval of the revised CCHS Advisory Board bylaws. The bylaws had not been reviewed and updated since 2016. Administration met with the Advisory Board President and Vice President to review the language to ensure that it was aligned with what is necessary by regulation and indicative of what we actually do.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify payment to Center for Family Services for the delivery of ERAP 2 services through 2/3/23, totaling $12,213.25, with no cost to the county, all paid with ERAP 2 funds. Requesting approval of the purchase requisition to Dell for a Latitude 3520 for Associate Director, whose computer is no longer functional. Total cost is $917.77. Cost to the county is $117.51. This is a budgeted item. Requesting approval of the purchase requisition to Dell for the purchase of 3 Latitude 7430s and rechargeable active pens to be purchased through a workforce development grant, which does not require a county match. However, the total of the grant was $4,858.96. The total cost of the computers was $5,001.45. The remaining $142.49 will be paid for out of the early intervention training dollars, which does have a 10% county match, so the cost of the county would be $14.25.
Okay.
Requesting approval of the purchase requisition to the Pennsylvania Association of County Administrators of Mental Health and Developmental Services for 2023 association dues. Total cost is $6,736. The cost to the county is $359.63.
Okay.
Requesting approval of the fiscal year 22-23 F2 amendment with Pathways Adolescent Center. This amendment is adding Pathways' newly opened 12-bed shelter to the contract, as JP would like to have it available for placements. It's for boys ages 11 and older. And requesting approval of the fiscal year 22-23 C1 amendment with Hand in Hand Mental Health Services. This amendment is adding the community living program to the contract. This service is specifically being added for one mental health consumer who attends the Challenge Center. The consumer recently had surgery, and he's not going to be able to participate in the Challenge Center until approximately mid-May. The community living program will be a wraparound support used to keep the consumer connected to staff and fellow peers at the Challenge Center. The maximum for the Challenge Center Psych Rehab Program on the original contract was $24,277.65. This is being decreased in order to fund a $2,014.08 maximum for the Community Living Program.
Okay, any questions for Sue?
I do.
Yes.
Item C on the agenda, the ERAP -HN, it's not part of the narrative, but it's on the agenda. What, did that happen to be left on there from last meeting or something, or? We've got 2 ERAP items on the agenda.
Okay,
I have only the first one, as number 2 on your narrative,
okay.
so it may be, I can check with Terry.
Okay.
See if that's what they left over or on the it's on the email. But
We-
it's not on the narrative.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
check.
yeah, I've always combined them, so I don't know if it's, yeah, I've always combined them, because you asked, instead of presenting them separately, that I combine them, so maybe it's that. The total is $12,213.25.
For both of them? Okay,
So it's combined on the narrative, separated on the agenda.
okay, but, so are we gonna, so for next week, will they be one item?
Yes, I'll have
Okay,
to combine them if that's.
perfect. Okay,
Yep.
good,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christopher.
Okay. Finance?
Good morning.
Morning, Stephanie.
Morning, Stephanie.
For your approval, I have invoices totaling $1,771,086.12. The first is to HSBG Early Intervention. It's the fiscal year 2022-23 quarters 1 and 2 match in the amount of $121,964.78. This comes from our county match. The second is to HSBG. It's the fiscal year 21-22 quarter 4 in the amount of $103,297.31. Also comes from the county match. The third is to Gallagher Bassett. It's an actual to deposit true up for Gallagher Bassett in the amount of $504, and that comes from our insurance expense. The fourth is to Community Health Services. It's the 2022-2023 MATP trip reimbursement for January of 2023. The invoice number is 160, and the amount is for $44,523, and it comes from the MATP trip reimbursements. And the fifth is to P-CHIP. It's our February 2023 health insurance expense. The invoice number is 115043-0 in the amount of $755,180.29. That comes from an insurance expense. And lastly, also to P-CHIP is our March 2023 health insurance premium. The invoice number is 119468-0 in the amount of $745,616.74. And again, that comes from the insurance expense.
Any questions for Stephanie? Human Resources.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Brittany.
I'm requesting to ratify the payment of the Campbell Durant and Beatty invoice number 74604 in the amount of $8,829.41 for Special Labor Council.
Okay, any questions for Brittany?
Thank you.
The Commissioner's Office.
Is the Commissioner's Assistant position effective today? This is the position that was vacated yesterday by Mark Peaster.
Okay.
Then I'm requesting to create the Procurement Specialist position effective on March 13th. Eric,
Okay.
you wanna take C?
13C is to approve the appointing Dan Brzee from Concord into the EMS Commission. We are lacking people in the southeastern part of Crawford County. Dan has offered to step in and do that, so we would certainly recommend him to do it. He's been a long time EMT. How many years has he been in EMT?
Almost 50 now.
50 years as an EMT, so he's retired and willing to put some time in for meetings, so we appreciate that. Okay?
Okay, I have an Act 146768 and 127 notification from the EADS Group for water tank painting project in Greenwood Township. And a notification from Murkowski Engineering for Chapter 102 permits, Woodcock Modernization Project in Woodcock Township.
Okay. Any questions for Gina? Upcoming events, March 8th, the full session, March 15th, the work session. Any public comment? Commissioner comments, Commissioner Soft,
Nothing today, thanks.
Commissioner Wiederspin?
I'll pass as well.
Okay, we'll see you next week. Thank you.